The Matrix versus the Takeover Part 2 should be next, in my opinion. Let's talk about it.
Push the weight and no flex. The live is 1 in the 6. With the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Well, it happened. It happened. You guys knew where I stood on this matchup. I was very, very clear when I said I needed George Kambosos to win this fight for the better of boxing. And the young man did it. I don't know what Teofimo was talking about after the fight. I don't know what his father is talking about after the fight. His father said Kambosos won maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 rounds. How about keep counting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How about Kambosos only lost a round that he got dropped in? Y'all want to play that game, right? Let's play that game. Sounds familiar? Tio got dropped in the first round. Right hand. His eye at the end of the fight looked like his behavior. He looked like a bloody female part on the rag. Let's just say that. And I know that sounds disrespectful and it sounds rough, but how's Tio been since he beat Vasil Lomachenko? He's been disrespectful. He's been rough. He's been difficult to deal with. He's lied several times. This doesn't make sense. His behavior was unbecoming, and this is a kid that I supported. I was already biased because he was from the tri-state area. Way above average boxing skills, great power. I wanted the kid to be successful. I rooted for him to beat Vasil Lomachenko, and he did so. He had one more thing to do because we're all about undisputed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not about undisputed when the person that you root for is in the driver's seat. You don't care about undisputed. But when it's your favorite fighter that's in the line of fire and the expectations are high, a lot of you fans don't like that. But that's okay, because time reveals all truth, and a lie is nothing but the long way to the truth. And the truth is, Tio's a faker. The man told us, yo, man, we can't have this fight. I have COVID. ESPN, I think after the Lomachenko Nakatani fight, mentioned Teofimo Lopez being on vacation in Italy. And I said, wait a minute. Italy? What is he doing in Italy? Did he catch COVID in Italy? They said vacation. I said, wait, whoa. Which one is it? Does he have COVID or not? Did he catch COVID in Italy? Because if he had COVID, how does he get on an airplane to go to Italy? They've yet to explain that. And people have not held his feet to the flames in reference to that. They just let it go like it didn't happen. This fight was postponed about 5 times. About 5 times or 5 times. I don't recall. We were supposed to have been had this fight. His biggest claim to fame is beating this man, Vasil Lomachenko. And you talk to the Lomachenko fanatics, they said, man, he was losing the whole tail end of that fight. You can make that case, but I said, yo, man, it's not our fault that Vasily didn't throw a damn punch until the 6th round. That's not our fault. That's his fault. So for the betterment of boxing, Kambosos won. Now, according to what Kambosos said, He's going to do what he's supposed to do. And that's fight Devin Haney for an undisputed matchup. Now, granted, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Devin Haney has a real task ahead of him. Jojo Diaz. That is not easy work. You hear me saying that, right? Devin Haney has to get past Jojo Diaz. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Do I want Devin to win? Absolutely. But this is boxing. He has to get past Jojo Diaz. December 4th. Get past Jojo Diaz. Please sit down with Kambosos and y'all get a real undisputed matchup. And I like that matchup. And if Kambosos keeps his word, I'm going to take him at his word. If he keeps his word, we might have a modern day classic. But this fight right here with the two people you see on the screen, the Matrix versus the Takeover Part 2, this needs to happen. I'm going to tell you why. Everyone said, myself included, that Vasyl Lomachenko should not come back and fight Nakatani. That guy's long, pause. That guy's lengthy, pause. But the guy's a problem because why? He fought Teofimo Lopez, and a lot of people said, yo, man, Nakatani could have won that. He gave Lopez all kinds of problems. And we looked at Loma. Loma said, yo, I'm coming back. I had the surgery. I'm on a mission. And the Loma fans was like, yo, we love you, man, but don't do it. Not with this guy. Don't do it. How do you say, hold my beer in Russian? And Loma got in there and not only beat Nakatani like a drum, but he stopped him. He stopped him. I didn't see that coming. I said, oh, boy. And Loma fought every round in that fight like he had a chip on his shoulder. He looked strong. He looked healthy. He was light on his feet, showed good angles, and showed decent power, man. And he stopped Nakatani. Something that Tio couldn't do. And I said, oh, boy. He's mad now. Loma's mad. What was my issue with Lomo? It was never that he couldn't fight. You'll never hear me say that. But like most fighters, and try and follow me on this, Lomachenko, Triple G, they put these guys on a pedestal as if we don't know any better. You can't talk to a guy like me, like I don't know boxing. When you market a person to me and say that you haven't seen anything like this since Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard, and the man gets in there and loses his second pro fight against a journeyman, you can't tell me anything. Triple G, oh, I haven't seen anything like this since Marvin Hagler. Stop. So it's not really the fighters, it's the packaging. Golovkin comes over here, gets moved in a certain direction, is allowed to duck certain fighters, somehow gets an Apple deal, promoting for Apple. Now he's fighting Murata. Who? Exactly. Silly? Look, I think he's damn good, but I didn't like the packaging. But you never heard me say that he couldn't fight. And what he did to Nakatani was epic. And it made me look like, oh-ish. What is Tio gonna do now? You see, Tio, you beat that man. And for those of you in the back that want to ignore it, y'all like throwing around this email thing, right? I want you to be very, very. I want to be very, very clear when I say this. Vasyl Lomachenko was a WBC champion. Devin Haney was up next, and rather than fight Devin Haney, what he did was he gave up the WBC strap and requested a franchise status in which it was granted. So he gave up the champion. He gave up the belt to Devin Haney rather than fight him for it. Devin wanted to fight him for it. Lomachenko was the one that said, no, thank you. But Mauricio, hand me one of those franchise. You got any one of those franchise things in the back? Yeah, we'll make one up with your name on it. Now, mind you, when the franchise status was first created, it was not transferable. It was a special status granted by the WBC because you meet some sort of criteria. Whatever. So then he gets the franchise status. Not transferable. You can go up and down in weight, but you never lose it. You can go up and lose a fight, but you're still considered a franchise champion. Teofimo goes to Mauricio and says, hey, man, if I beat Loma, can I get that? Mauricio says yes. He beats Lomachenko. Boom. He's a franchise status. Okay. But that belt don't count towards undisputed because the real belt, Devin Haney has it. As a matter of fact, Lomachenko sometime later said, no, Tio's not the real undisputed champion. Devin has the real belt that I gave to him. Sour grapes, because you know what would have happened, and I firmly believe that if Loma had beat Teofimo and he was still WBC champion, first of all, he wouldn't have had a WBC franchise status because he'd have had to fight Devin. If he'd have beat Devin and maintained the status, then he'd have fought Tio and he'd have been undisputed for real. But he didn't have enough faith in his abilities to beat Devin Haney, so he gave it up to him. There's no other way to look at this. So Tio gets the franchise status, and now he's running around saying he was undisputed. This is trash from the WBC. This is confusion from the WBC, but you're not pulling a wool over my eyes. I see this crap for what it is. So everyone talking about, oh, email champion. Understand the Matrix gave it up rather than fight Devin Haney. And what grinds Teofimo Lopez's gears is that Lomachenko would rather give up the belt to Devin Haney rather than fight him, and chose to fight Teofimo Lopez because he was easier work. That is disrespectful. That is disrespectful. But Tio did what I said he could do. He beat him. All we wanted you to do, Tio, was say, okay, one more to go. Devin, let's do it. And you started playing games. I'm undisputed. You're doing weird stuff like showing up to Canelo Alvarez with all that hardware. Saying, look at me.
But one of these kids is doing his own thing. Now it's time to play our game. It's time to play our game.
Trash. Look at me. That was embarrassing. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm undisputed too. No, you're not. No, you're not. You had one more to go, and Devin still has it. And good luck to him against Jojo Diaz. But back to you, Teofimo. You dropped the ball. You skated around. You postponed this fight, which ended up hurting you in the long run. Heard you had a problem making weight. Heard other things too behind the scenes, but we ain't going to talk about that until you spill the beans because you're an emotional wreck right now. Things are going to start coming out, but I'm not going to entertain the other stuff that I heard. That'll come out in the wash. It all comes out in the wash. But how does Teofimo get back into good graces with the sport of boxing? What's next? You done talked all this trash. You walked around taking pictures with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo who actually accomplished something. You didn't. I'm sorry, let me be clear. Let me be fair. You didn't do what he did. Canelo's really undisputed. You are not. You are not. So the two men on the screen duck Devin Haney. That's what they have in common. And you know what else? They have unfinished business. They have unfinished business. And this picture right here speaks volumes. Although Teofimo won this fight, you see Lomachenko's face? That's his attitude right now. He got a chip on his shoulder. F this. And you know what? I don't think Teofimo beats him in the rematch. I think Lomachenko stops him within 8 rounds. I think he stops him. I think he beats Tio's ass. That's just my opinion. But how do we find out? They got to fight. Where else is Tio going to go? And here's why I'm asking this question. And salute to my brother Scotty, World Combat Sports. I took this from his Instagram. Y'all make sure y'all go follow World Combat Sports. That's my brother Scotty White. This was off of his Instagram. He said, well, this is what was said. Teofimo Lopez gave his top 5 lightweights in the world. 1, him. Okay, you know, if you're a champion, you're supposed to think yourself as number 1 in the world. 2 was Vasyl Lomachenko. Why would he say that? Because that's his biggest win in his career. I get it. 3, Richard Kami. I got a problem with that. 4, Tank. 5, Devin Haney. You know who's not on this list? Ryan Garcia. And I saw your tweet, young man. Go sit your ass down somewhere. Ain't no one think about you. You looking like the lost member of Menudo. Y'all remember Menudo? Get out of here. Ricky Martin looking ass. Sit down somewhere. Ain't no one, get out of here. Whatever, man. But look at this. So since you have Vasily at number 2, and Vasily just knocked out a guy, they gave you all the problems in the world. And you just lost to George Kambosos. And I heard, I thought I read something from Errol Spence. You see, I got to ask if everything is correct. Y'all got to correct me in the comment section. Well, no, I'm just asking. I heard there was no rematch clause. I think I saw Errol Spence, a tweet. Someone shared a tweet from him, because I'm not on Twitter. Someone shared a tweet from Andre Ward saying no rematch clause. Damn, was he talking about this fight? Y'all let me know in the comment section. Was there no rematch clause? So that means that George Kambosos can fight the winner of Jojo Diaz and Devin Haney. So if that's true, forget about it. Teofimo, what do you do next? Tank ain't looking at you. You just lost. Devin got business elsewhere. What are you going to do, rematch Richard Comey? Nobody want to see that because you knocked him out. Vasily has nothing lined up. Well, he do. But you know what? I'm all for it in the spring of 2022. The Takeover versus the Matrix, part 2. Do it right here in New York, in your backyard. There's a bunch of Ukrainians out here. You know that. You know that. So I'm calling for this fight. Vasily got something lined up. Take care of business. What better way to get back in the good graces, Teofimo, than to beat the Matrix again? So since you lost last night, according to this list, you got to put Kambosos at number 1. I would put Devin Haney at number 2. If this is a Lopez list, you got to put Tank at number 3, and I'll let the rest be determined. But Teofimo, on this list, according to your logic, you shouldn't even be on this list now. Now, let me address something else real quick. You get what you put out. Your fans on my other pages commenting, capping for you. You lost the fight, my man. Nobody likes excuses, right? Right? No one likes excuses, right? You get what you put out, my man. Remember this? Salute to my brother Art, man. I got this from his page. Y'all go subscribe to Art, man. Remember this? Teofimo Lopez tells Deontay Wilder to stop being a B word after making a number of wild excuses for Tyson Fury defeat. Wow. Excuses. A lot of excuses, right? As if you're not in a sport that's corrupt. You know it's corrupt. But I don't want to take it too far down that road. But here's what I will point out. A lot of fighters that commented negatively on this seem to have some trouble. Dillian White got slept. Y'all remember that? Charlo fought to a draw with Castano, and he got some Castano work. He had unfinished business he has to take care of. Remember that? Who's the, I did a video about this guy, the MMA guy forget his name. I did a video when it happened. He was calling out Deontay. He even called out Fury, called everybody the P word. Fought in the cage that night and got slept. I did a video about it. I forget his name. He's so irrelevant. And this is no disrespect. It just happened. He got slept. I forget his name. I got to go through my archives. I remember he's a black dude with dreads. He was talking hella reckless. Oh, when I'm done here, I'm going to go in the boxing. I'm knocking everybody out. Deontay Wilder's a ussy. That weekend, he got slept. Did a video on it. I forgot his name. Got slept. I said, oh, look at that. Haven't heard from him since. I think he was a football player, wasn't he? He's an NFL player. Okay. Slept. Right. Dude who slept him took a chug of beer out of a sneaker after the fight, I believe. It was disgusting. But there goes that. Who else? Who else had these issues? Yo, focus on your own stuff. Because this was unprovoked. He even said he'd slap Deontay or something like that if he was in front of him. I was like, yo, what is this? I had to make a phone call. I said, did they have any, like some sort of problem with each other? No. He don't know the kid. I said, so why is he talking like that? Okay. But this was him after beating Lomachenko, running off at his mouth. I'm undisputed. Deontay being a bitch. I slap him if he's in front of him. Man, Devin done stepped you twice in public. You had no smoke for him. Now, not only don't you have any smoke, you have no belts. But the only way to get back into good graces is to rematch Vasyl Lomachenko. That's the only way you get back into good graces. So since we're being consistent, don't make no excuses, man. You and your daddy made a lot of excuses. In fact, didn't you say you was injured going to the fight? I'm waiting for that to come out today. Your daddy said Kambosos only won like 3 or 4 rounds, man. Get out of here. You lost. We all saw it. You lost. You got dropped in the first round. You came back, dropped him like what, in the 10th? You couldn't put the gas pedal on it. You couldn't close the show. And he came back and got right back in the fight. You got outclassed, my man. Accept it, congratulate him, and move on. Why do you think people are calling this the fake over? You did this, young man. You did this. Mr. I only made $600,000 my last fight. Why do we need to know that? Why did you put this? Come on, man. You know how the business of boxing is. They're going to use that against you. You can't pull this A-side stuff with Vasyl Lomachenko now. Oh, well, I beat you. Yeah, well, I watched the guy that you almost lost to. And you lost your last fight. And I won my last fight. This is 50-50. And I still got a bigger fan base because, surprise, surprise, nobody really F's with Teofimo like you think. Like he wants you to believe. The only way he gets back into good graces is if he does this again. And wins. And I don't think he does. I think he's going to look like this, but it's going to be worse. It's going to be the Matrix standing over him, and he ain't going to be able to get back. But we all know that Teofimo is fragile emotionally. He's probably crying right now, and I'm not being funny. He's one of those athletes that are super talented. Listen to what I'm saying carefully, because I'm not even making a joke. He's one of those athletes that are super talented, but emotionally fragile, like Mike Tyson. That need therapy, like Mike Tyson needed. You got Olympic athletes that swear on sports therapy. What you see on the track and field is not who they are when the lights ain't shining on them. Teofimo was already crying over his girlfriend, talking about he wanted to commit suicide or something like that. I don't even know if suicide is the word, but I mean, come on, man. But it all comes out in the wash. And I hope that part of his life is okay. He has a baby on the way and everything else. Fine. But you know what? You get what you put out. If you need some therapy, go get it. But now's the time. You take your loss like a man. You suck it up. You game plan with your daddy. And the only way back into good graces is not a warm-up fight. You don't need that. Because you was a unified champion. But you let everyone tell you you're undisputed. Whatever. So whatever you want to call yourself, you get back in the saddle. No more light work. Dick Shark. But no more light work. You call out Lomachenko ASAP. You call out Lomachenko ASAP. And stay and keep the same energy. When I beat Vasyl Lomachenko, I want the winner of Kambosos and Haney. And get in there and do it. Because if you beat Vasily, I'm going to be calling for you to get the winner of Kambosos and Haney. Granted, Haney gets past Diaz. This is not hard. This is not complicated mathematics. So let's go, T.O. The takeover. Stick to your guns. Keep the same energy. Because this picture right here speaks volumes. Don't disappear. And stop whining. Get back on that saddle. Bronx on deck.
Move!